Hello everybody, welcome back, and it was all going so well last night. We were looking at this on the stream last night going, well, you got your bullish diversions, a single drive will do for now. Moving above the Bollinger Band, that was quite encouraging, and that perhaps maybe we're going to avoid a death crossing coming, and we were saying, basically the rule was, if we can reclaim this we'll call it $115,000 relatively quickly, we should be okay. But overnight, well, basically, yeah, I suppose it was really. We lost it. We've been rejected on the 200 exponential now, and we come all the way back down to where it started from. The good thing about this, if there is a good thing about it, is that the RSI is still relatively high, so we could still quite easily on the next sweep low, if we do go lower than 111,500, get another bull div on that RSI, and 2 drives is better than 1. Now, again, looking at this daily, it's not good either, because this is now well, I mean, it's the day's not yet done, but it's looking more like a bearish engulfing candle, which is not a good look. The RSI is broken out timidly throughout this this consolidation trend line. The money flow index is still below it. So, low bull div on this one, we're kind of looking and hoping for a breakout. And again, the breakout would be breakout of momentum, money flow, and price action. And the price action really does need to get back above, well, 114.5, maybe 115,000 to be to get it straight. So, yeah, at the moment we're looking at a bearish engulfing candle, which is not a good look. However, we are still sitting on the 20 moving average and still above the 21 exponential moving average, which is 109,400. These are the areas that would, for me, say bull or bear at this stage. This is supposed to be, if anything, the last stage. I know we always highlighted September as a significant area for some kind of, well, peak. A peak has happened in August. September is continuing to be bearish. We're running towards the end of September now. We do really want to see some kind of reversal at this stage. I do have to say it's getting too close now. But like I said yesterday, support here, and here we are again. Support here, perhaps maybe that's where we'll go. Move over to Coinbase, not that this means anything really, but support here and here, just like Bitcoin. Move over to the crypto stocks, crypto mining stocks. Nice big powerful run here over the last 3 weeks. Broken out from this horizontal trend line. Another crypto stock here, powering through. No bearish divergence on the weekly here, just a powerful move, consistent move. So there is evidence, I would say there's evidence that this is a serious low that we're looking at, but we're not seeing a reaction that we're quite happy with yet. So I'm still okay to go with what I said yesterday, which is that weeklies suggest it's okay. So we're bouncing here on XRP from the center of that Bollinger Band. Now Ethereum is the one that's looking pretty weak. This doesn't mean it's a write-off for all the altcoins. It does affect the dominance chart quite a lot, but it doesn't mean it's written off the entire market. On the stream last night we looked at, well, I can show it to you now actually, it's no secret, but I'll have a look at it now for you. ETH to others, and what you see here is a chart which has peaked. And so that means that basically all the others should, well, not all, that's such a sweeping statement, but a lot of the others would outperform Ethereum in this period while Ethereum consolidates a little bit further. The obvious place is for Ethereum to come down at this stage now versus others by another 8.5%. So it can happen. It's not too much of a big deal. If you look at the state of some of the others, some of the big ones, we've got BNB loving its life, basically. We hit the $1,000, which is crazy, but, it was foreseen, I suppose. So I'm enjoying that. Obviously, we've got lots of this. We, the royal we. XRP still broken out. It is a breakout. There's nothing you can say about it. That is a breakout. I mean, we can flick around altcoins all day, sitting at major support, Litecoin. Not that that means much, but it is. Even Doge was looking pretty good last night. It's been looking good for a while. So when we do look at others, just flicking around individual charts for others, you know, so we see this giant golden cross, we see the retest, the double retest, the catching of the Bollinger Band, and again, here we have another chart which could easily come down to another little higher low around 21.5, perhaps 22.5, to then power on through. So, you know, they're not perfect when you start going down the lower time frames. They start getting a little messy. Doge still okay, 22.20. You know, V-shaped recovery situations can take place from those zones. You know, it's not perfect. It's far from perfect. But high-term time frames seem to suggest that things are okay for now, or at least, you know, we're way closer to a support than we are a resistance. So that's how I would choose to interpret what's going on right now. It was also quite a sort of quite a quiet turnout for the old Patreon stream last night, and sometimes I have to say that anecdotally, and same with the views on YouTube, I imagine Google searches are quite have come down for crypto as well. You know, these are often signs of you know, well, getting ready for a bull move, really. And a big one at that. Once the retailers have forgotten, you don't want the retailers in from the bottom, you want them in at the top, don't you, really? And that feels like where we are about right, you know, getting close to that now. You know, oh, it's all over. Oh, forget about it. It's done. It's finished. I don't want anything to do with that. You know, I've lost my money. You know, I'm not going back in now. I've got some tether, but I will wait until I see. And these are all, yeah, normal behaviours for everybody. You know, when we see, well, I mean, I suppose it's a little different for me because I've been allocated into, well, you could call it, I suppose, luck in a way. You know, XRP, Bitcoin, Chainlink, even Ethereum to an extent, really. You know, BNB obviously. You know, so a lot of my coins are up seriously high. So I have had a generally different experience to, you know, your average crypto hodler who, you know, in the previous cycles have been able to hodl almost anything and been rewarded for that. But I just want to put it to you that if we haven't had the big move yet on crypto as a whole, which I don't think we really quite have, despite, you know, the total market cap and the total 2 looking tasty. I mean, it has been a good one for the market as a whole, you know, and I suppose this has been my experience of the bull market, and we have gone higher highs to higher lows. The portfolio has gone higher and higher and higher. I want to point out that, you know, last cycle, towards the end of the cycle, altcoins, a lot of them had and were at a serious low. I'm trying to find. Okay, so this isn't anything that ought to be traded right now or anything like that. But this was one of those coins, right? So this was your previous cycle. I just want to show it to you. This is your previous bull market cycle for something like Harmony 1. So, you know, obviously did this, and then it had an alt season, which is good, and then did this. Basically came back down to the all-time lows, you know? These were the lows. These were the serious lows down here. If you'd have bought this low, you would have been happy, because you would have run, and you would have run, and then you would have been unhappy. Then you would have run, then you would run, then you consolidated all the way down to where it started from again. So if this is your experience of a bull market last cycle, you'd be relatively upset about that until 2021, and then that sort of thing happened. Now, I'm not suggesting this is what the sort of thing that's going to happen, but I'm just pointing it out to you. That was your previous altcoin market cycle for this one particular altcoin, which is just using it as an example of what things looked like. Now let's have a look at Ethereum. Let's see what Ethereum looked like in the last cycle. Again, I'm just pointing this all out to you. Ethereum was great. Ethereum. And then we obviously consolidated into the bear market, found the bear market lows. Okay, so we've got the absolute low down here. You could have bought that, perhaps maybe at $80. Fine, I didn't. I bought my Ethereum around $160. Wanted to reclaim these areas. So this is me. So, had a great time, had a horrible time, had a terrible time, had an okay time, had a horrible time, a better time, okay, slightly better time. So, but look, from here to here, you would have seen, you know, a year and a half of ups coming all the way back down to where you bought it from the actual all-time low. From this area where I bought it from, I had a nice little, couple of months. Then I had a terrible few months. Then I had a nice couple of months, terrible few months, nice couple of months. And this went on really. This went on and on and on until really, to be honest with you, around arguably this sort of time now. Really, this sort of time. No all-time high generated, nothing like that. Just fannying around in a crooked sideways price action. And that was Ethereum. Ethereum, which now has an ETF involved with it because confidence has attracted it. But back here there was no confidence, not really even for me. I was holding on to it, and believe it or not, I was still holding on to the same amount of Ethereum that I bought back down there. So still holding on to all of that. So obviously I feel a little bit more comfortable about the price of it now. I'm just trying to point out that this has been a better bull market, and also the serious price action always takes place at the very, very end. So if we have to come down to this level, 3,500, obviously I'll be a little annoyed, but I certainly won't be upset. And if it does come down to there, that's a serious support on a breakout of a symmetrical triangle of a 20 and a 21 weekly moving average. And if it has to do that, then let it do it, because it's an appropriate place for it to come down to at this point now. If we can't get drawn back up there above the 10 exponential, we are looking for the 21 or the 20 to be tagged, and that obviously would be a chaotic 10 to 14% from where we are right now. Now, obviously, there's plenty of altcoins I do have which haven't performed very well. Atom, Algorand, not very well. SHIB is the one that I own, which actually hasn't made any profit at this stage now, but heavily compensated by all the other ones that have. So I'm just putting it to you that we might be sort of getting ready for the big one, and the big one only starts, or has always started, from serious lows when nobody wants it. Everybody feels washed out. And I actually look at the majority of the altcoins, again, the ones that I've got, the big strong ones, and I'm like, well, this is all very nice and constructive. But at the same time, the altcoin market as a whole, most of them, if we're looking at the equivalents of things like Harmony One or for whatever like that, from the last cycle, a lot of altcoins look like that. They have not done anything. They're forgotten about. And the good thing about a forgotten altcoin, and I'm not saying you buy the dead forgotten ones, is that the order books are thin, the trading volume is nil, and it doesn't take much money to flood into those things to make them go parabolic, because that's all it takes really. It just takes loads of people doing the same thing at the same time to create a giant imbalance in the order books, which makes a giant green candle. That's all it takes. It's not that the value of that has increased really, it's that the buying of that asset or of that crypto is all taking place at the same time, and it creates a green candle. That's basically all it is. It's an emotional response, and the best way to get emotions are to, at the moment, like flatline crypto. So it feels like from a sentiment perspective, it's getting close to that kind of situation, and it's complemented by crypto stocks, looking quite strong. Coinbase, CleanSpark, Hut 8 Mining. I don't know what MicroStrategy looks like actually. I can't remember MicroStrategy. I can't spell MSTR, isn't it? Yes, that's it. What is this doing at the moment? Okay, so this is now a 50 exponential moving average on a weekly, all part of a giant golden cross where we have bounced in the past, and we have bounced in the past, and perhaps we're going to bounce now. So there is that. We've also got two drives of hidden bullish divergence on the weekly. There's evidence for a bounce there. Drives of bullish divergence here. Going to get another one if we close another low. That would make sense. So again, showing signs of bottoming. This is a bearish chart. There's nothing you can do about that to flip it bullish, but you've got bullish divergence here, and if we do nudge down a little lower, which looks like we're going to get another drive over here. So even MicroStrategy is showing signs of reversal despite being a bearish chart. So there you have it. I mean, there is signs of lows. Emotion out there is low and sentiment has disappeared, but I'm letting you know that it feels very familiar. Right, I'm going to leave it there. There's nothing much more to say. I can't really spin it in an actual bullish light when it's a bearish morning, especially with that Bitcoin's bearish engulfing candle. You know, there's not much you can say about that, but I'm just putting it on your radar now that if you are watching this and you're still interested in crypto, yeah, I think your perseverance will be rewarded, and I am seeing signs, and I'm feeling the sentiment making it feel very similar to, well, I suppose around September 2020 when altcoins were wreck city. Right, I'll leave it there. There's nothing much more to say about it than that. Still that support across the board on a variety of different coins and assets. So leave it to do its thing. Finally, I suppose we might as well just reference S&P still looking reasonable, not showing any real signs of weakness at this stage. Dollar still low, being below all moving averages on the weekly, with a hidden bearish divergence from a few weeks back. Still looks like it wants to nudge lower, or at least remain lower. Right, that is it. Nothing else to say. If you want to join the Patreon, feel free. Links in the description below. Other than that, hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.